Hey there, savvy home buyers and sellers. This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru, and welcome to the February 2021 Greater Toronto Real Estate Market Update. Whether you're a buyer or seller, there's a lot of information in this video. Without any further ado, let's go! Well, here we are, another record-breaking month for Toronto real estate. In January of 2021, we reported over 50% more sales than the same time last year. The market has continued to be red hot and continue where we picked off the year before, and that's because of a low inventory and high buyer demand. When we look at the pricing side of things, prices for all properties have gone up on average over 15% in the GTA. And when you break it down by different areas, you can see certain areas have gone up even way more, reflecting the trend of people still continuing to leave the core and go out into the suburbs in order to find single detached family homes. Now, as I've been predicting in my previous videos and since the summertime of 2020, this trend will continue because we do have a lack of inventory in our market, not enough supply coming online, and I still think you're going to see tight market conditions for some time to come. Now, before we get into the numbers, let's take a look at what's going on in the news. The big story in real estate this week is that the average house price in Toronto is expected to surpass $1 million by the end of 2021. When you look at the article, I'll quote, "We've reverted back to the scenario that really we've been talking about a lot over the past number of years, where supply of listings coming onto the market is not keeping up with the growth in transactions." As I've been saying, and I've made multiple videos on it, including my prediction on why house prices will continue to rise in the Toronto area, this all comes down to a number of factors such as population growth in the city, lack of inventory, lack of new builds being built, consumer preference for actual houses as opposed to condos. And basically what this is adding up to is a perfect scenario where house prices will continue to rise in the future. I mean, our banks are heavily invested in it, and our real estate market is quite heavily regulated, which means that somehow, some way, this market continues to pump along. Now, also keep in mind that the GTA is the most diverse, economically strong engine in the country that attracts a lot of people into the area. So without solving the problem of how many properties we can get online and housing these people, we're always going to have a housing shortage. And when you have more demand than supply available, then the law of economics will always dictate that prices will continue to go up. Until that factor changes, we're not going to see a change. Sure, we can see a bit of market cycling, so you'll have periods of very high growth, followed by maybe slower times, maybe even a little bit of a decline. But when you look at real estate over the macro in the long term, the trend will continue to go up until there's no longer any demand for homes in the GTA. Next, let's talk about the confusion in the market. The Toronto Star posted a recent article talking about how home prices are surging and the market's doing really well. But then 3 weeks ago, they posted an article talking about how CMHC predicts a 15% drop in home prices. Like, if you're one that reads every news article out there or follows the news, you don't know what to think. I mean, even RBC, their own executives were telling their investors that real estate prices in Canada were going to go down, yet their economists are predicting prices are going to go up. I think a lot of people, they tend to look at real estate through their lens. So if you're a banker, you're looking at it in terms of interest rates are the only thing that drive this. Or if you're looking at development, you're looking at, well, if we're not building enough, that's what drives prices. At the end of the day, there's a number of things affecting it, from interest rates, population demographics, future growth, to even environmental policies. Everything that the government does, every decision that's made has a ripple effect on real estate. And sometimes it's hard to see it at the time. An idea that sounds good at the time could actually have large implications in the future. My guess is that until the supply issue is solved in the GTA, we're probably still going to see continuing rising prices with periods where maybe the market slows down, whether it's government regulation or a bit of a hiccup and a reset. But overall, I still think we're into it for the long term. All right, let's get into the numbers. So when we're looking at real estate, again, the 905 was the big winner in terms of sales and price appreciation. When we look at the chart, you can definitely see right away that when comparing a detached house in the city of Toronto, which went up a very good 16%, it's nothing in comparison to the 36% year-over-year increase that we saw with detached houses in the 905. Again, it's reflecting people selling smaller properties in the city to move out to the suburbs to get more room. When we look at more modest properties, such as semi-detached, you can see it more or less in line with each other, Toronto at 21% and the 905 at 25%. Again, when we look at townhouses, you can see that Toronto's prices actually did not go up a lot, only 4.1% year over year, while in the suburbs, they were up 20%. Now, when we get to condos, you can see that in the city of Toronto, the prices are actually down because the highest concentration of condos is in the downtown core, which was hit the hardest by coronavirus. However, in the 905, condos have gone up a modest 5%, which doesn't look good when you compare it to single family residences, but still, doing quite well compared to the city counterpart. One thing I will say about condos is we are seeing an uptick in sales even in the city of Toronto, and this may be signaling the bottom has come for the Toronto condo market. Eventually, if the single family houses get too expensive and we're hitting affordability issues, then people again will start to go towards condos in order to find home ownership. So that is a trend that I would definitely keep an eye on in the future, and especially through the spring and summer. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my February 2021 Greater Toronto Real Estate Market Update. As you can see, consumer confidence is very strong in real estate, especially in the 905 area. When we're looking at what's going to be happening over the spring and summer of 2021, things to keep an eye on include this continuing migration out into the burbs. Will the prices continue to keep rising higher than in the city of Toronto? And also, let's keep an eye on the Toronto condo market, which I personally believe has probably hit its bottom, and it's going to slowly start to make a comeback. Either way, it's going to be an exciting year. And if you have any questions about real estate, always feel free to call or email me. I'm Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. Have yourself a great day.